Love Actually. In my role as a pastor, in my role as a wife, as a daughter, as a mom, a sibling, a grandma, in my role as a friend, and with the benefit of time, I have become more and more aware that the only thing in life that matters is love, actually. The only thing that matters is how we love ourselves and the people around us. When we love, we feel better. The people around us feel better. And imagine a safety net or a spider web, something that's sort of connected, but connected with some flexibility. And imagine we are components of that spider web. And as we lift the spider web up with love, as we lift the net up with love, then even though we don't always see it, we make an impact on that spider web. We shift it. There's nothing that we do that doesn't have an impact around us, and even to some extent rippling out to the very edges. And I believe that's what life is. It's an interconnected whole. And each one of us is part of that interconnection. And so what we do in terms of our energy, in terms of how well or how not so much, that's not English, how well and how not so well we love, we have the ability to uplift or sometimes to deflate or drop that web or that net. And what we know is you read people's memorials, and it's all about love. It's all about how gentle they were and how kind they were and how loving they were and how much they cared for people. Why? Because it's the only thing that matters. In the end, it's the only thing that matters. Sometimes we know how to be in love, and sometimes, well, not so much. And part of the reason is that love can be confusing. When I first started to do work on this love, this whole thing of love, I imagined that I was an alien coming to the planet to try to understand, what makes humans tick. And what makes humans tick is love. And at first I thought this would be a fairly easy thing to kind of wrap my head around. And then I put myself in the eyes of the alien and realized that love is very confusing. Why? Because we say things with the same degree of energy. I love my car. I love that outfit on you. I love chocolate. I love God. I love my job. There's even love 15 in tennis. Like, why? Why is love the 0 in tennis? Hi. So then, as any good alien might do, I decide I'm going to go to the internet. And I go to the internet and I go to WikiHow, and it says, and I quote, Love is expressed as an action and experienced as a feeling, yet love has an essence that resists defining in any single way. It encompasses compassion, determination, tolerance, endurance, support, faith, and much more. Was anyone more enlightened by that? A bunch of words that still don't define love. Okay, let's try going to music and see if that helps things at all. We get love is a many-splendored thing. Love hurts. Can't help falling in love. I don't love you anymore. Love is divine. Love is a losing game. Love makes the world go round. Love is a battlefield. I love the way you look tonight. Love is blind. Love is really, really confusing. If the alien were to hear us speak, it probably wouldn't sound or add anything to their understanding of love. Because in that same energy, we say, I love God. I love chocolate. Maybe it is the same thing. Chocolate is everything. There's so much to love that makes it confusing. One final example. Love can be a noun. What is this thing called love? Or it can be a verb or change with what is this thing called love? Simply adding the comma changes because now it's an endearment. But what can we say about love, really? What can we say about love, actually? Think of it as an energy that attracts us together. It attracts people. It attracts things. Quantum scientists will tell you that at their very smallest particle, there is no such thing as matter. We've got quarks and quarks and photons and tiny, tiny subatomic particles, but there is no matter. What forms matter is the attraction of these subatomic particles to each other until they vibrate and connect and unite and harmonize to create something. That's true for us. Love is attractive energy. And sometimes it attracts at a very low level. You know, those people who love to hate. They're still loving. There's still attraction. And our goal then is to love at a higher level, at the level of uplifting, rather than the level of doing something that's destructive. Think of love as finding harmony with the world around you. It can be a powerful force for good. And as we see at times, when we love to hate, it can also have a very destructive element. And yet, you know, these bigger thoughts about love are not part of our everyday experience. When we think of love, we tend just to think of our interpersonal relationships. And that is the place that is the most powerful area in our lives where we can impact our lives and the lives of the people around us. Some of that other stuff we may have opportunity to be involved with. but right here in each of our individual communities is where we have power to love and spread love. And sometimes it's not easy. The thing is that when we are in love, in that place of belonging and connection, doesn't it feel great? We feel like we matter. We feel like we belong. We feel connected. Sometimes the lens that we understand love through may look a little different. And in his book, The 5 Love Languages, Dr. Gary Chapman talks about how sometimes these understandings and lenses through which we view love can be misunderstood, and how we might be more effective at giving and receiving love. The premise of the book is that although we all need love, we all value love, we all know, Mr. Alien, what love feels like. Why the alien has to be a Mr., I don't know. Anyway. We all know what love feels like. We all know what it feels like to have an attraction and a connection with a person or with a group. But sometimes we understand it differently, or see it differently, or give it differently, and receive it differently. And what he is saying is that there are basically 5 languages that we use for love. Each one of us enjoys all of these languages, but each one of us speaks primarily one language. And then the others, or 1 or 2, and then the others are less important. So he's grouped these needs for love into 5 areas. And the languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Well, let's take a look at each one of these, because what you'll see is as I'm speaking about them, you may go, yep, that's me. I know I'm loved when I receive words of affirmation, for example. Take a look. We start with words of affirmation. Oh. Are you moving it? Thank you. There you go. Excuse me. What are words of affirmation? Compliments. Things that say, way to go. We use this with babies all the time. You did it. Awesome. Well done. These are powerful ways to say, I love you, to someone whose language is words of affirmation. When they hear, well done, or they hear, you look great, or they hear, I know you've got this. A person whose love language is words of affirmation will feel uplifted. Mark Twain said, I can live for 2 months on a good compliment. That's a person whose love language is words of affirmation. Of course, if Walt was here, I would tell him I would like more than that. For a person whose love language is words of affirmation, it is more important that they hear something nice than receiving a box of chocolates, for example. It matters more than anything else just to hear words that uplift them. That's words of affirmation. Next, we see quality time. Quality time For a person whose love language is quality time, they don't care what you say, they care that you're here. So it's not enough to say, I love you, honey, if you're never home, assuming that they're home. Quality time is a weekly date, which just the two of you. Or maybe a time at the end or the beginning of every day that is just 15 minutes to connect with each other. It is more important for a person whose love language is quality time that you be with them than that you buy something for them, or even that you say something nice. Our need for connection, if this matters, is the other person's time. Be with me. Be present with me. Then we move to the third love language, which is receiving gifts. For this person, it's, you can say whatever you want, but give me something. And it's not like I'm making it sound like that's a frivolous thing, but for some people, receiving gifts is very powerful. I remember once, somebody gave me, I think it was a necklace, and it was a person I didn't know. It was completely unexpected, and I started to cry. Receiving gifts. I didn't even know that it mattered until this gift was given to me. It is a symbol that somebody thought of you. So, come home and I bring you a flower from the grocery store. Or I was out shopping and I saw these socks and I thought of you. It's all about, I thought of you and I picked it up. That's the point. And the thing about receiving gifts is frequency matters more than size. So, it's more effective to give one flower a week than one bouquet a year. So, just so you know. I don't know why you guys are laughing. Or a bouquet a week is good too. And then receiving gifts. Oh, I did receiving gifts. The next one is gifts of service or acts of service. This is the way that so many people show love. You may never hear the word, I love you, from your dad, or even from your mom if she's very stoic. But there'll always be food on the table. There'll always be a roof over your head. There will always be clean clothing. Acts of service are some people's way of showing love. A powerful way, especially for people who are parents. Those whose acts of service, love language, those for whom the love language, acts of service is theirs, will feel so grateful when someone lightens the load for them. Hey, I'm going to the grocery store. Do you need anything? Hey, I was doing so-and-so something, and I realized that a birthday card is needed, and so I picked one up for you. Whatever it might be. I'm making up nonsense examples here, but you know what I mean. When somebody shows up and says, here. In these last few weeks, an act of service that I was so grateful for is people bringing food. Those of us who value acts of service will feel loved when someone lightens the load for them. For them, this is Eliza Doolittle, right? Don't say the words, show me. And finally, physical touch. There are some people who crave a hug, who need the hand on the shoulder, who value holding hands. Think about it. What's the first thing that we do in a time of crisis? We hug. What's the first thing we do in a time of excitement and joy? We hug. Physical touch is something that is very powerful and physically necessary for people. So if physical touch is important to you, then a hand on the shoulder as you walk by, a peck on the cheek when you say goodbye, a hug when you come home. These are all messages that for the person whose love language is physical touch, they're hearing, I love you, when you do them. So we have these 5. And it's a really interesting concept, isn't it? Because it may help us to have some insight about people who we may have some conflicted relationships with. For example, if your dad was never home because he was always working to provide for the family, you may feel resentment that he was always at work. But another possibility may just have been that there was a mismatch in your love languages, that dad was actually doing something to demonstrate his love for his family, acts of service, where you, as a child, were like, Daddy's never home, and you wanted quality time. And there's nothing wrong with any of these love languages. What sometimes happens, though, is we have this mismatch where I think I'm giving you something out of love, and you're like, meh. I know that's happened to me, where I've spent ages, and I'm so excited about giving someone something, and then they look at it and they're like, oh, thanks, what's next? Or the other way around, somebody is excited to give me something or show me something. And I'm like, yeah, can I have a chocolate bar? You know? So we have these different languages. And if our goal is to live as love, if our goal is to increase love on the planet, one interaction at a time, how do we do that in light of these 5 love languages? We think of the golden rule. The golden rule, which says, do to others what you want them to do for you. In Matthew, we see it as, whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. Whatever you wish others that would do to you. So what would I wish? If somebody is wishing to give me love, how would I wish to receive love? Well, I want to receive it in the language that I understand. Always give a gift in the currency of the person receiving it. And for me, my love language is words of affirmation and touch. Those are the things that really matter to me. Okay, I would wish someone to give me and show me love in that way. But that means do also to them. That means that if I want them to make the effort to show me love in the language that matters to me, then surely if I am showing love to someone else, I want to make the effort to give to them in their language. And oh my gosh, that can be hard. Because if I think that hugs and words of affirmation are nice, and I say that to a partner or a friend who doesn't care about those things but really likes it when you bring a casserole, then my love for that person needs to be one step beyond what I like, but more like how I would like to be treated. You get the difference? There's a difference between do unto others, they call it the platinum rule, actually, is do unto others as you would like to have done to you, yes, but take it a step further. And take it a step further is what you really want is for people to be empathetic with your values. Well, then that means you have to be empathetic with theirs. And that means making an effort that sometimes feels uncomfortable. It means, for example, remembering to close the cupboard door if that matters to the other person and it matters not a whit to you. And it's not that I'm saying that from personal experience. Loading the dishwasher. Oh, man. I don't care how it gets loaded. Walt likes it a specific way. He used to work for Maytag. Oh. So what does love look like? It's like digging deep and making the effort to do it at least a little bit more the way the person wants. Why? Not because of obligation, not because of guilt even, but because it's love in action. That's why sometimes the golden rule is so hard, because we think of it as just applying to how people should treat us. The turnaround is how we treat other people. Gosh. And if you don't know a person's love language, how do you find it out? Just watch them. Because people will reveal themselves to you in various ways. We have a tendency to be more excited when we receive things that really matter to us. We also have a tendency to give things in the language that we actually kind of want to receive it. So we see something that we like and we think, oh yeah, Jerry's going to like this. And Jerry's like, I don't need these socks. So take a look and see what Jerry normally gets excited about. And then that gives you an insight into what their love language is. You can also pay attention to what they complain about, because it's obviously something that matters to them. Again, not because of fear, not because of obligation, not because of guilt, no fog, but because it makes you feel happy, because it's what you want to do for them. And the turnabout, the other way around, how do you help the people who you live with and who are part of your life? How do you make them spend more time with you if that's your love language? Or give you more gifts if that's your love language? How do you help them? You make a big fuss. A big, like gigantic fuss when you catch them doing something you love. Just it's training each other, it's educating each other, it's collaborating with each other, it's communicating with each other. And finally, my very last thing for today. The most frequently read passage about love, often read at weddings, from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Love is patient, love is kind. Love does not envy, love does not boast, love is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. Love is not easily angered, keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in injustice, but rejoices with truth. Love never gives up, always hopes, always perseveres. Love is just this thing out there until we make it more personal. Each one of us has energy that attracts. That means each one of us are actually walking examples of love. We are ambassadors for love. So, how do you become a better ambassador for love? Instead of the word love, insert your name into these sentences. That creates a roadmap for how you can live as love in any situation. You can use the words I am as well if you want. But imagine the power of Maureen is patient and kind. Margaret does not envy or boast. Donna is not arrogant or rude. Richard does not insist on his own way. People's names, completely transforms and wakes up the meaning of this passage. You are love. Not just on Valentine's Day, but every day. Remember that love actually is what matters most. And with love, each one of us has the power to lift each other up to that place where we all belong. I bless you. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you too.